walked in, there was like a dummy in one of the cells, and they all jumped. Right.
Because they're so much alien pain. They come at any time.
Okay, Sydney, you're in jail.
What was?
No, not in jail. This is in a cell.
You're in jail.
All right, you guys want to do B block first?
What happened to the plastic?
I don't know, four prisoners trying to get out.
Mail.
There's. Why is there still stuff in the mail?
That's obnoxious.
So does it tell you when you're supposed to go to the next thing?
No.
I don't think so. I
Oh,
think
it kind of shows it though.
I think it highlights in yellow where you're at.
Highlights and, well, the next one's the whipping post, so.
D block.
Nothing.
Except those creepy big spiders.
If you follow the yellow, if you don't follow the yellow. Follow the yellow arrow.
I'll use this as a map, but I was listening to it and I was like, I can't hardly hear it.
Turn it up.
I did turn it up.
I turned mine up low and I could hear it better.
I heard it better. This would be the whipping post. That would be this guy right here.
Dang. It doesn't say harass anymore on here. So harass doesn't have anything to do with it. So why are you saying he's like
Stop number 2 is gymnasium.
Number 3.
Number 2. It says the original prison.
This is the original?
This one. Find this interesting. All these all over the place.
What do you think they are?
I have no clue. I haven't seen anything on here yet about them. Ooh.
Swallowed the pill. Then he looked at the drug dealer and refused to pay for it and asked him, "What are you going to do about it?" To me, that's a death wish because you got Jack, 3.5 foot tall, you got a drug dealer that's 6 foot tall. Who's gonna win that fight? So they stabbed him and they cut him. He comes off the step of the gym, comes across the basketball court, and then when he gets over here on the sidewalk, he dies. Now, I led a tour group through here a few years ago, and I never told them about this, but Jack always had a cigar in his mouth. He was always smoking a cigar. But I had never mentioned that to the tour group. And when we come down the sidewalk and when we get to where he died, a lady stopped and she smelled cigar smoke.
I did not know. I did not roll. I was excessive. It does go the wrong way.
It's fine, let them go. They've been going the wrong way the whole time.
This is A Block. You and another inmate were locked down in one of these cells for 23 hours a day. You got out 1 hour a day for the yard. I'd gotten in an argument yelling with another inmate over my loudmouth singing. This guy starts yelling, I'm yelling back, and we both end with, well, I'll see you on the yard tomorrow. I'll see you on the yard. No, I didn't think much about it. You know, I just got here from the county jail. Everybody in the county jail runs their mouth. They don't always back it up. You know, prison's different. The cell doors open for an hour of freedom. I went out to the yard, got on the phone to call home. As I was talking on the phone, I see this inmate coming walking across the yard. He's got his shirt off. Told the person on the phone, I said, look, if you don't hear from me for a while, I'm probably going to be in the hole. I was going for parole. The last thing I wanted to do is get me in trouble. So I put my hands in my pocket, in my jacket, and I started walking towards the guy. And as I was saying, I have no intention of fighting you. He hit me in prison. You can't let anybody perceive any weakness or you're done. When he hit me, I scanned the yard to see if anybody saw it. Some other inmates saw it happen. So I threw my jacket off and went towards him. He kind of took off back a little bit, and the guard saw us and he blew his whistle. He said, hey, you two, break it up. And so about that time, the bell rung for the yard. So we come back up here and we got onto this walk here. When we squared off, I come in and I kicked him in the knee and took his knee out. He hit the wall here and he pulls out a pencil. He says, come on, I'll stab you. And at that point, I felt like I'd showed enough show of force. So I said, I'm done if you're done. And he got kind of surprised. He said, you're done. The next day, all the inmates said, oh, you know, this guy said you're afraid of him, that you back down. That's why I knew I had to handle it again. So the next time, I took it to the dining hall, waited to the back of the line and saw where he was going to sit. And I walked past him, threw my tray and hit him in the head, broke my hand. Ended up going to the tubes, into the hole. Never did make parole. I ended up flattening my time. Before my time, there was an escape. James Earl Ray was in here. He was still here when I got here for a few months. He was old and sick, and you know, he was the one that was accused of killing Martin Luther King Jr. Him and some other inmates did escape. They made a homemade ladder and had some other inmates get in a fight out here in the lower yard to distract the guards. While they were dealing with the fight, these inmates put their ladder together and threw a blanket over the razor wire and escaped and went back up into the mountains. But you know, you get up there in those mountains, it's just rugged, you know, miles and miles. Other inmates, they would go out there, and so they would work outside the wall here. Evidently, it's just full of rattlesnakes up there. The guys would say that, you know, they see rattlesnakes every day, but if they weren't allowed to kill them because the guards would charge them with destruction of state property for killing a rattlesnake. So the guards wanted those rattlesnakes up there as a deterrent, you know. So if the rattlesnakes don't get you, the mountains probably will.
I know that.
Now, James had several cells across the institution over the years, but 28 cell was his last cell. Now, contrary to what a lot of people think, James did not die here. A lot of people think she died here, that he got killed here, or whatever. No. James, in 1981, over in the what was the library at the time, James got stabbed 22 times. He had 77 stitches and a blood transfusion. His blood transfusion, he developed hepatitis. Hepatitis then turned to cirrhosis.
This was added for the barber shop, and so these inmates, they cut each other's hair. If they didn't know how to cut hair when they got here, they did when they left, or you were bald, one or the other. That little gun port there goes into the warden's office. So at the end of the day, they would hand their scissors and their different things through the port, and then they could close up shop.
Is file grievance on a guard, but leave it up to me. I did file grievance. I was here. I filed a grievance on the chaplain because we got 1 hour out a day, and we're supposed to be able to go to the chapel. And that guy, every time you go over there, the chapel door is locked. And he's got one job: be the chaplain, have the door open. And as I understood, he had a problem with alcohol. Anyway, I filed a grievance on him, and of course it goes straight to him. They know who does it. So next time I walked in, the chapel was open. And he said, "Oh, Judas Iscariot stabbed me in the back." I said, "Well, Joe, you're supposed to have the chapel door open." And so, I wasn't so scared of the chaplain. I figured he probably wouldn't beat me down. So I filed a grievance on him. But nobody would be wise to file that grievance on a guard.
Is number 10 in here? So if you guys remember that video where that thing happened, it was right here.
It says over there to one of the things.
Well, it said it split on the food, which would have been all this right here. So it would have been right here.
That's crazy. What they do to his arms drop?
His neck cut and all that stuff, yes.
Well, on the board it says he got his arms chopped because it said he was barely hanging on, I think.
Yep.
On one of the wall paintings it says Tim Cross 98.
Oh, there's writing in the dust here.
Yeah.
People putting stuff. Come on. Okay, last time when they came in to come tell me about their little experience, I was walking, got to right here, and my camera, which was recording for about 3 minutes, says shutting off. 2, 1, 0. My camera is not supposed to shut off while it's recording. So, don't know if it means anything, but it happened.
And then, like,
Watch your step. The guard station. I'm done reading this thing. I'll give it, tell me where's next. I'm trying to do an order. Oof. Hey, watch your step. I can hear them talking. Tell you what, that lunchroom in there, that was freaking hot. Like I was just sweating. So I want to make sure we visit each and every level, walk through. If I've got to get another memory card, I'll get another memory card. Yeah, okay, D block is the solitary cells.
Oh. Yes, I see this.
I have a light, hold on. It kind of helps.
my phone won't zoom in on it though.
No, it's... That light did not work. Pick a direction.
People who are not allowed to get their lunches and the cafeteria. And it's served this way.
There's a mosquito following me. Wow. Look how tiny these cells are. Oh, wow. tombs are next. They're clear in the back.
Talk to you. He walked over there, he looked at me, he said, hey, you guys want a sandwich? I got my Christmas package in. Got a good country ham. We told him, said, no, we don't want no sandwich. We can just eat supper. He said, okay. And the funny thing about this was, the inmate was standing right inside his door, urinating in the commode while we was talking to him. He got done, he looked at us, he said, you guys sure don't want no sandwich. It's a good ham. And this inmate reached down in the commode, picked up a big old chunk of ham, shook it off and took a bite and said, it's real good ham. And that was my first day at Brushy Mountain. So sort of give you an idea of what some of the things you go through here, that was one of the minor things.
Okay. This is the high security. I wish we get to see it, other than the outside. The hole. Number 20 is the hole. That looks like... Oh, that's back up to where, by the church. You can see where this original prison had all the windows. And then they sealed them off, turned it into a gym. I have no idea where my mom went. She's in a cell somewhere. Did you know 1950s and 60s residents of Petros could bring their garments to be laundered free of charge? Interesting. It smells like a pool in here. They're right. Chlorine. That smells awful. Headed down to the hole. I see you guys found the hole.
Keep our children. The hole. You know, the hole.
Alright, now the children are gone. Let's go to the hole. Watch my step. Didn't one of the investigators spend some time in the hole? He's got beds. Hi. I'm going in each one. Darker and darker.
The other one's blocked off with bars, you can't get in. Coming back down.
Why?
I don't know, they're looking for 21, I think I see one.
Oh, why does this one have a glass door in it?
I don't know.
Oh, here we go.
Hopefully they're coming back down. Oh, they went outside.
That's weird. Because it's black walled and glass door, unless they use it for some Halloween thing at times. All right, let's head back up to this room. $21 looks like it's. You just go around. Yeah, 21. It still says it's in there. Unless we. I don't know either. She's somewhere.
We lost her somewhere here. Okay, now we're back.
And now we're back in here.
Oh, wow. Bunch of the prison made shanks. I'm gonna say. Yeah, for sure. Some of them are much more creative than others.
Prison. James Earl Ray actually got stabbed in this room right over there in the corner. He was at a long desk going through some books. And they come through that door, blocked him in, and even attacked him. So
Ah.
I checked him because he was attacked. It didn't kill him, but it was the beginning of the hit for him because he got tainted blood in a transfusion.
Huh.
That's anyway, I'm a little mad. So this is not the time.
It was the simplest things to get out of here, wasn't it? Get.
That was the last one. That's that last one. Then you have it come down here and do a late right and five down in the lower yard. So I was sworn when they did this out of the wall right there.
Huh. I was gonna say I didn't see a ladder, but that's because of this. Okay, it makes sense.
The documentary, the movie started in the theater film Vacation, the movie theater.
Oh yeah. You gonna go find Oma? Tell her.
It took us forever.
Thank you.
Lots of stuff happened here that nobody ever knows about.
The roughest people in the state, that's where they send them up here.
I knew when I come through that door, they can do anything they want to me.
I lived with convicts all my life, just about.
That was wonderful.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. My name's Paula. If I can help in any other way, please let me know. Like I say, my family all worked here, my husband. In fact, I had one brother was a dog boy, one worked the chain gang, and then my other one, he worked D-Block, High Max, the Hole, and Gymnasium, and did visitation. And he was telling me about a young boy who was a little person, and they found him tattooed, and he was real bad to snitch. And that's definitely a rule breaker,
right?
That's disrespect. That would get you killed. He was in there one day, and my brother was in their garden. They was all playing cards and stuff, and I think he said they was having a movie, fixing to have a movie or something, and said one of them that he had snitched on, he walked right up behind him and cut his head almost off. Said that little boy, that man run and made it right outside the door, and he died.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll never forget my brother coming home, because my mom had a restaurant down in Petroff, and we always cooked lunch for the guards and everything. My other brother that did the chain gang, when they go out and do volunteer work for the churches and stuff, he had a good relationship with them, and it was just mutual that, if they would give good for him, he would do something in return. And I remember many a time he'd call Mom and say, Mom, I got 12 inmates that's worked all week in this hot sun, and everything. He said, I want to get them a good meal and stuff. He said, will you fix them some cheeseburgers and fries, and I'll get them a soda and stuff. He'd bring that van load of prisoners by, and he'd just reach in and get it. I'd meet him at the door with it. And my brothers all told me, when they come behind these walls, they're equal. They're flush with the house. They're serving their time. And it's not for us to judge, but we are there to assist. But no judgment. I'll never forget that. And then my other brother was a dog boy. He was as bad as they was. I'll be honest with you, he was Mama's black sheep of the family and stuff. But he was a good dog trainer, and they run these mountains. And he was actually with them when they caught James Earl Ray. When he escaped, he had a fight break out down here. All planned. They were in the upper yard, and every one of them had a piece of that pipe. They brought it. They had them stage it. They put that pipe together and went over the corner back here. They had bed linen they throwed over the razor wire to keep from getting cut. And they all went out, and every one of them returned and stuff. I think he made it within 10 miles of here in a little church called Shiloh Baptist Church. He was in a ditch. What they did was they got out there, and it was dark, like right in the evening, and they got turned around. They didn't know where they was. They got confused. So they didn't, most of them got caught just right over here. He did make it for 3 days. He made it 10 miles across the mountain. We ride Windrock Mountain now, but he had went up in the mountains as far as he had made it. And how in the world he kept from getting eat up with snakes, I'll never know.
No kidding. That's a long ways to go.
We've got 7 mines around this place, and they're infested with rattlers, and a rock quarry in the very back. The limestone right here was mined. The prison mined it from back there. The original structure was made of wood set right there, and it had one leg to it, so it was like an L shape, and it was right there. And then when they come in and designed this, they designed it as an upside down cross.
Wow.
So the C block and A block was the ones where they weren't too bad. B block is where they took all them hostages, and they were kind of rough. But when you got to D block, high max, which they called the tomb, and the hole, you was in trouble. They were the worst of the worst.
Wow.
I noticed that B block was blocked off. Is there a reason? Is it like bad up there and they don't have people up there?
Yeah, the
D
high
block's
max.
over here. You
Yeah.
through it, that's where the electric chair was.
Yeah.
And D block. High max, yes. The building was the last to be built, but it was the first to start deteriorating as bad.
Oh, so it's dangerous up there.
Yeah, the safety measures. Plus, and it must be close to one of those mines because it seems like there's more snake activity up in there. And
So,
I mean, we have people that, you know, we've got black snakes down here, and they kind of take care of that for some reason. I don't know how in the name of God that they do, but black snakes will kill a rattler and stuff. So we have them, I tell them their name's Otis and Fred. Otis and Fred's in there. But we got a cat and everything, but like I say, for some reason, that one high max. In fact, I'll tell you this story before I go back in. My brother, Rod, the one that done high max, he come home and told me one time, said, he was up in high max and said there's an inmate screaming to beat the bench. He said he didn't know what in the name of God. He thought he was being killed or stabbed or something. He went running up there, and there's a rattler in there with him. Oh no! Of course, you know, they stayed locked up, and he thought he's in right there.
Right.
I thought to myself, buddy, I would already have heart attack.
Right, right.
I'm sorry. That's one thing I can't do.
Well, thank you.
God bless.
You too. Ah, she's super nice. See if we can get a decent shot from right over here.
You lost your mom in the prison.
The prison with the upside down cross. So, in other words, watch for snakes, because
Rattlesnake made it into the jail cell. That's interesting.
all right, well. Whew, it's hot out here.
Hearing that story about the cafeteria
Yeah.
explains a whole lot of why I felt so sick of it. That was terrible.
We are heading back out. I wish you got to go in the guard tower. I'll be honest. That's what it looked like back then. It doesn't look like it's be very difficult to escape.
Hot girlfriend.
All right, let's go explore. Shade. Okay, now the shade. They do say the area is riddled with snakes, so just please watch your surroundings. Wonder if this is where they stayed. Bet you that camera still works. Okay. We're gonna stay away from that. I think there's a bunch of wasps. Let's walk down this roadway here. I don't feel like getting stung, so. Can you imagine escaping and trying to make it through that crap? Hell no. Well, that's what they're saying. They have no idea. I mean, 10 miles. 10 miles for this.
I can't even walk 10 miles.
Look at this pretty tree.
Well, I probably walk 10 miles, but I can't run 10 miles.
Well, and it's not flat terrain either. He made it across mountains 10 miles. All right, here we are. Let's go to the gift shop. This is the warden's table.
Oh, look, it's stuck.
recently passed 226, 224.
Dang.
It's a lot of unmarked. And this one died in 1914. $1910. Mother and children. That was an event that happened. Oh, unmarked. Come in here and it starts raining. This one's got fresh tracks. I'm gonna have to turn around. I just want to get to this bend. Got some deer tracks. All right, back we go. All right, turn the camera off so it doesn't get wet. Well, parolees. Far away from the wardens, which is up top. And they're not open. Alright. We were here, and then we're gone.